A Swift Kick in the Ass, episode 155. Life is challenging and difficult. No one gets out alive. Time to suck it up, Buttercup. Get ready for a monster-sized boot aimed to help you get traction on personal change and get living. I am John Curran, your host. Join me as I share my journey, exploring the forces that motivate us to change and help us get through whatever life throws at us. A swift kick in the ass. Life on your terms. Welcome to another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass. This is your host, John Curran. Today's episode, Parenting My Emotions. So, as you know, my show comes out from time to time, pretty much as I feel like it. Those are my terms, and those are the ones I choose to live by at this time for this show. But I have, in between episodes, I'm working out and doing martial arts, and I am just about halfway through my second degree of black belt. So I'm first degree, I'm about halfway through to my second degree. So I love it. This is time I not only get to spend focusing on, improving my skills and my health, physical and mental health, but it's also time that I spend with my son. And I cherish this time that I have with him and this time in my life doing martial arts. It means a lot to me. So what do you do when something that you love, when you're blindsided basically with potentially having to end doing something that you love? You can imagine there are a lot of emotions associated with that. In my case, I went to the eye doctor for a routine exam. I do that very routinely, once a year at least, because I've had issues with my eyes before. I've had LASIK surgery. I've had glasses since third grade, contacts since fifth. LASIK surgery, corrected that for a while. I didn't need any corrective lenses. Then I needed reading glasses. And, I've had floaters and I've had to deal with my eyes. This is a known problem. My grandmother had detached retina. Actually, she had two of them, both of them detached, but she did go blind in one of her eyes. So I'm keenly aware of my family history, and I want to do everything I possibly can to avoid that. That's one of the terms that I face. This is not something I asked for. This is something that was given to me, a gift from the family. So I went to my routine eye exam. They dilate me. They take a picture of my retina because in my case, my retina is stretched thin. It's very elongated, and I suffer from myopia. So myopia is nearsightedness. Without the correction, I would see very close up, like 2 or 3 inches from my face. But I have that corrected, so don't really need it, just need reading glasses. See distance just fine now. But when I went to the eye exam, I discovered that I have a tear in my retina. So when you are myopic and your retina is shaped strangely, you are prone to retinal detachment. Your retina is thin, and also as you get older too, things start to happen with your eyes. So without getting too, graphic, I had a tear in my retina. I had to go to a specialist to see what was going on, And he not only found one tear, he found two large tears in my left eye and one small tear in my right eye. Needless to say, at that moment, I just saw my martial arts career or hobby or whatever you want to call it just crashing. And in between the week, in the week that I had in between the regular doctor and my specialist appointment, I had a lot of time to think about what I was going to do. And I was taking Johnny to class. Johnny didn't miss class, but I sat out and I watched my son and my friends train. As I sat there and thought about how I was going to have to give up something that I love. Needless to say, my emotions were pretty overwhelming. And I learned that, what I've been learning the last couple of years through my martial arts training and my meditation is that I can, certain emotions feel a certain way. And when you start to recognize those feelings, you can, it kind of triggers or raises a flag so that you recognize what's going on. And I think I'm giving myself a choice now when I am triggered, because do I really want to go down that road of feeling that way and for hours or days or weeks or months or years even? When you start going down that path, that emotional path, sometimes it's really hard to pull yourself out of it. And the last couple of years, I have learned to pull myself out of it. I recognize when I'm starting to go down that path, and I make a choice. I'll use, for me, losing my sight, that's pretty emotional. Not everyone has to go through that. Not everyone has a family history. But I think one thing most people can empathize with are our pets. Many of us have pets. We have dogs and cats and hamsters and guinea pigs and ducks, and some of us have alligators. I don't. I think it would be kind of cool, but that's for another day. When I see a pet, a dog in particular, especially one that's sad or hurt, a hurt animal, my heart and my empathy is just at a very high level. And I'll actually start to feel really, really bad for that animal when there's nothing I can do to help that animal. And feeling bad doesn't change anything. It just makes me feel bad. So I've learned, that that's a big trigger for me. And I try to get out of it if I possibly can and not go down that road. The older I get, the more I kind of get tuned in to my emotions, how they feel, and what I can do about it. And to me, that's an adult way of looking at things. And I think that's what parents do. Parents kind of keep a watchful eye on what their children are doing, and they help keep them in line. We want to grow, and we will grow from our emotions. Our emotions are a tool that help us find our way through this world and through our life, a life on our terms. And one of the biggest terms that we face is in relationship to our emotions and how we deal with our emotions, how our emotions guide our decisions. And I will tell you that the older I get, the less I am guided by my decisions, the less I allow myself to be guided by those emotions. I just don't think it plays very well. Emotions are important. I'm definitely not putting them down. I think they're extremely important, but they have their time and their place, and they also have their limits. And I'm going to give you a swift kick in the ass to say, hey, if you're crying about something and you're sad, I'm not saying you shouldn't feel that way. I'm saying you should think about why you feel that way and ask yourself what purpose it serves. Maybe it does serve a purpose. Maybe it serves no purpose at all. And maybe it's actually hurting you to continue on down that path, and you need to start doing something to get yourself out of it. Now, as I sat there and started to wallow in my own pity about possibly losing my sight and having to go onto Amazon and pick out some cool eye patches, because I'm going to try, I'm going to adapt, and I'm going to try to make the best out of any situation that I'm in. So, do I want to go blind? No, not whatsoever. And I'm happy to say that my tears in my retina were fixed right there in the office. I am so appreciative of the doctor and the technology and the ability to fix this issue. I had no restrictions after my meeting or after my procedure, and I went to karate the very next day. Kind of love that. It's amazing. So I would have been worrying, and I was thinking the worst, and there was no reason for it. So that's another reason why I was really glad that I parented my emotions, kept them in check, and tried to keep as grounded as I possibly could to realize that even though the possibility existed, it wasn't there just yet. It was not known. Not all the facts were in, and my doctor had actually said this was 100% curable, not to worry about it. But I did worry that it was going to impact my sport and my training. So I would have adapted. Had I needed to, I could maybe take some other type of form of martial arts that is non-combative. So I take away that risk of retinal detachment. I still do face it. I don't want to be hit in the eye. I don't want to be scratched in the eye. I don't want anything coming near my eye. But I need to learn how to defend myself. And I'm in the best shape of my life. I handle stress so much better. I'm much more focused. Physically, I'm doing great. Been working out all of these issues that I have, and I feel great. Why would I want to change that? Well, wouldn't want to change it at all, but sometimes life throws things at you and gives you a big swift kick in the ass, and you have no choice but to adapt. Well, you do have a choice. You can adapt, or you can just wallow in your own pity and cry like a helpless little wimpy baby who knows no better. But you hopefully are a grown adult who is capable of making their own decisions and doing what is best for them so they get the most out of their life. And keep reminding yourself that these feelings that we have, they're temporary. They come and they go. But we can guide them, and we can allow them to kind of take over our lives, or we can kind of keep them in check. They're really just, it's a response to the situation, and your mind is searching for answers. So, we have a choice. So we can learn how to deal with that, learn to adapt, learn how to keep moving forward, or we can take some other direction. Now, the truth is, and I'm going to wrap this up, truth is that there are no promises. What we can do today, we might not be able to do it tomorrow. My dad taught me this when he was suffering from ALS. In the last days of his life, he wanted to continue to serve people, and his heart was set on serving people, and he was going to be useful up until the day he died. When he felt that he could no longer be a use or that he was a burden, he was ready to check out. And that's exactly what he did. So I love my dad. I learned a lot from him of what to do and what not to do, but I have to say that he handled his own ending, his own death. He handled that with such grace, and I hope when it's my time that I do the same. Life is full of change. Our jobs change. Our lives change. Health changes. People come in and out of our life. And, what we can do today, we might not be able to do tomorrow. But we might not have a choice in some of this. But we do have a choice in how we respond. And I remember back when Tommy died. That was a very difficult time in my life. Physically, I was in bad shape. Mentally, I was in bad shape. Just so many things were going wrong. And I never, ever want to go back there again. I never want to feel like that again. And I took ownership. Back then, I made a choice. And I'm going to live my life to its fullest. And I'm going to live on my terms. And I join you. I ask you to join me in living on your own terms. My website is slowly but surely changing. I'm adding some ebooks in an attempt to provide some good information, some good basic information that you can use and use it to make changes in your own life. I'm not trying to make a killing off of this. This is these are very inexpensive. You can get them. They're on demand. So as soon as you make the payment, you get the goods. And I'm adding to it all the time, but covers the basics. And hopefully I'll be covering more and more of these on the show. But I want you to live a worthwhile life. I want you to get the most out of your life. And I'm here to give you that swift kick in the ass to keep moving forward and keep doing better and keep making the most out of whatever life gives you. So, this is John Curran, your host. This is a Swift Kick in the Ass podcast. Until the next time, peace. This marks the end of another episode of A Swift Kick in the Ass, placing it directly in the can. As much as I like to talk, even I have my limits. It's time to go. Catch me on the next show. For better or worse, whether you like us or not, please leave comments wherever you get your podcasts. Follow us on Twitter. Visit our home on the interweb. I think you can leave me a voicemail there. You can also email me at john@aswiftkickintheass.com. It's been my extreme pleasure. I hope you got a lot out of it. I hope you got your ass moving. Until then, until the next time, I'm out of here. Peace.